Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
Good evening, everyone. After more than a week of speculation, Rebecca White has quit as Labor leader, paving the way for a renewal within the party following a rocky election campaign. After 4 years and 2 election losses as leader, the member for Lyons now endorsing Shadow Treasurer David O'Byrne to step up to the role, saying it's time for a change within the party.
Tasmania's opposition leader, surrounded by her family. Taking over the Labor leadership in 2017, Rebecca White says her time is now up.
I'm announcing today that I won't be contesting the leadership for the Labor Party. I have mixed emotions today. I'm very privileged and grateful to all of the support I've had as the leader of the Labor Party, but I'm also very sad that I can't take the party forward.
The member for Lyons recently suffered her second election loss earlier this month. The move, a change of heart, after previously saying she wanted to stay on in the top seat.
I see the change in leadership for the State Parliamentary Labor Party as a part of the change that's necessary now for the Labor Party so we can become more competitive to win the next election.
It's not surprising. It's very rare in this day and age for party leaders who've lost 2 elections to continue.
But making it clear her growing family did not impact her decision to step down.
I'm not standing aside as the leader because of my pregnancy. I want young girls and women everywhere to know that they can achieve anything and they should walk through doors when they open, or they should kick the door down if they have to.
Now planning to stay on as a Member of Parliament, while endorsing Shadow Treasurer David O'Byrne as her successor.
I've made it clear to David that I'll provide him my support.
It's possibly just with a view to sort of smooth transfer of leadership, I guess, given that O'Byrne is the likely winner of a ballot if there is one.
Member for Braddon Shane Broad expected to challenge the Franklin MHA, the party meeting on Monday to make a decision. Also launching a review into Labor's election performance, the decision to drop support for now elected Franklin MP Dean Winter potentially under the microscope.
Labor definitely need to review their internal processes, their pre-selection processes, particularly everything behind the initial non-pre-selection of Winter, because that was completely inexplicable to voters.
There's no doubt it was damaging, and I think that the events the first 2 weeks of the campaign made it very difficult for us to communicate the positive plan we had for Tasmania.
Meanwhile, Rebecca White is questioning Premier Peter Gutwin's support throughout the election for Braddon candidate Adam Brooks after his resignation yesterday, now facing a string of charges.
Mr Brooks's candidacy was a critical part of Peter Gutwin's strategy to win the 3 seats in Braddon, and he was willing to overlook whatever claims were made about Mr Brooks in his desperation to keep those seats.
The Premier saying he takes people at face value, and Mr Brooks's resignation is the only appropriate course of action under the circumstances. Ruby Kamane, 7 Tasmania News.
A 27-year-old Queensland man has been arrested over an alleged disturbance on a flight into Hobart last night. Police say the man was escorted off the plane following a complaint from the airline. He was then charged with abusive language, threatening police officers, and an offensive and disorderly behaviour in an aircraft. The Queenslander was bailed this morning to reappear in Hobart Magistrates Court on Monday. Tasmania today marks a major milestone, officially 1 year of no COVID community transmission in the state. The last reported case, a male in his 70s, had travelled on the Ruby Princess cruise ship and was a close contact of a previous case. More than 230 cases and 13 deaths have been recorded in the state during the pandemic. After coming out of a tough year, hundreds of union members gathered today to celebrate the efforts of workers across the state. Marching through Hobart's CBD, the historical but belated May Day event, acknowledging the achievements of unions and the hard work put in by employees during the pandemic.
Workers undoubtedly carried us through the pandemic. It wasn't CEOs, it wasn't bankers, it was essential workers who actually put their health and safety on the line every day.
People who are looking after our elders in aged care. Those people like teachers who had to adjust everything to be able to keep educating our kids. And of course the people that kept the food on the table.
Last year's May Day march was cancelled due to COVID-19. An initiative is hoping to help veterans into secure employment when they return from service. At RSL Tasmania's annual Congress today, the organisation launched the program modelling it off other states.
At times they do have difficulties in actually finding gainful employment, and this process is to help them through that process so that when they actually get out they're not jumping from job to job, but they're finding a suitable means of employment.
We fit their skills to the job that's required, so we look at the employer and what they require and the veteran and the skills they have, and that's how we match them up.
The RSL says it has been swamped by potential employers looking for recruits. With prominent Indigenous players such as Sean Burgoyne and Chad Wingard, Hawthorn are looking to strengthen their bond with Australia's First Nations peoples. Signing an agreement with the Aboriginal Land Council's Cultural Walk, the club will be helping extend its reach.
Walking onto the G is a special feeling. So too is walking onto country.
It was breathtaking. It was unbelievable. We got to learn from the elders of the land.
Wingard and Hawks teammate Jarman Impey last year covered part of the Wukalina Walk, a 4-day trail through Larapuna on Tasmania's east coast, the traditional lands of the Palawa people.
To learn the history of the Aboriginal people, we actually got to learn by listening, by experiencing and by sharing stories. And I think a part of this walk, for them to be so open and share their stories is invaluable.
The walk's dependent on the guides and their history and their connection to community and their ability to express the stories that have come with our community.
Hawthorn and the Aboriginal Land Council of Tasmania signing an official partnership. Both sides are hoping this can further the walk's reach.
We're going to work together to help bring the story forward using the wonderful extension to a community and connections that we don't have that the Hawthorn Football Club have.
Indigenous, I suppose, pillar that we have at Hawthorn is massive and something that we really pride ourselves on. So to probably add this to part of our Tasmania, I suppose, bond, it just creates a stronger relationship.
They're hoping to get back for the full walk this year. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
10 high-flying Tasmanians have been celebrated at the Young Achiever Awards in Hobart. Student Ambassador Caitlin Johnson was named the Young Achiever of the Year for her work raising funds for women and children experiencing family violence.
I think we can all relate to that in some sense. We all have those people that we draw upon, and so I encourage you to take a second and think about who those people are for you or what those moments in your life look like for you.
Australian of the Year Grace Tame was also recognised for her advocacy work with the Create Change Award. A Tasmanian Judo club catering for children living with a disability received a very special visit from an Olympian today. 5-time national champion turned coach Ivo dos Santos helping students develop their talent at the Syshin Academy in Glenorchy. The kids were put through their paces, with the session also helping them learn valuable life skills.
You can't do judo by yourself. You need to have a partner. So you need to learn how to work with your partner, how to get the best out of each other, and eventually, accidentally, you end up learning a whole heap of skills that really help you in life.
Syshin trains more than 50 people living with a disability nationwide each week. In the TSL now, North Launceston sit second on the ladder after thumping Glenorchy by 85 points at KG5 this afternoon. Elsewhere, Launceston were too strong for a spirited Lauderdale, while Clarence defeated North Hobart by the barest of margins.
North Launceston had started the season with mixed results, so today's clash against Glenorchy was a good chance to remind the competition of their prowess. A 3-0-0 first term putting them in a strong position early on. They then blitzed the Magpies in the second, as the lead grew to 50 points by half-time. Glenorchy taking until the 13th minute of the third term to score a goal, but the match was over well before that. An all-round dominant display from North Launceston, cruising to a comfortable victory. At Blunston Arena, Clarence and North Hobart had been billed as a grudge match this week, so it was tight and tough early on. The first half proving to be a seesawing contest, with the Roos narrowly ahead by 2 points at the main change. Clarence dominated the third, but kicked just 2 goals 7 in a wasteful display. Late goals from North Hobart saw them get within 7 points with a quarter to play. It was a thrilling final term, as Clarence broke away before North Hobart reeled them in. The Roos holding on in a nail-biter, winning by a point to secure their 4th win of the season. And at Windsor Park, Lauderdale had the unenviable task of trying to beat Launceston on their home turf. The Southern Bombers scored the first goal.
Puts it through for Lauderdale. They're underway here at Windsor Park.
But the Blues then hit back with 5 in a row.
Here's Riley, he's out the back, but it's taken there and it's kicked through by Musica.
Lauderdale fought hard, giving the reigning premiers a serious contest.
He takes it, he's got it, he snaps, he goals! Yes, he does!
Oh, fantastic.
Great goal!
The Bombers were competitive in the third, but Launceston always seemed to have them under control.
He's had a third bounce and a fourth, gets to 35, Kobe McKercher, great goal! Great individual effort.
They powered away in the final term to remain undefeated and the team to beat. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
In the NBL 1, the Hobart Chargers had a night to remember, with both teams winning against Diamond Valley. In the women's, a 48-18 second half saw the Chargers record their first win of the season. Ellie Collins leading the way, scoring a game-high 34 points.
Collins has had a good scoring game, and why not? That'll be her 24th points of the game, Ellie Collins.
Hobart winning 84-68. In the men's, a 40-point first quarter helped the Chargers win 107-97. Jack Stanwyck starring for the home side with 19 points. Alex Perroni has finished 5th in the latest round of the Indy Lights series in the United States. Starting from 5th, Perroni was challenged at numerous times throughout the race. He also overcame a minor hiccup, spinning out on lap 10.
That's not the easiest thing on the chassis of the race car.
That's going to upset the apple cart, isn't it?
Perroni's next race will take place tomorrow morning.
Good evening, welcome back. 12 degrees today in Hobart. Launceston had the state's top with 14, 12 degrees in Burnie and 13 in Devonport. 14 also at St Helens, 13 for Cressy, Low Head and on King Island. Smithton, Wynyard, Bushy Park and Flinders Island all hitting 12 degrees, with 11 at Scottsdale, Grove and Strawn, 10 for Fingal. On the satellite, there's mostly clear skies about the north and the northeast. Patchy conditions elsewhere. Further out, cloudy conditions through northern parts of the country. A spiral of cloud to the west of WA signals a cold front and associated low. Tomorrow, a cold front crosses Tasmania ahead of a trough. A slow-moving high over the Bight dominates the mainland. Westerly winds 20 to 30 knots, lighter inshore around the upper east, reaching 35 about the southeast later. Seas between 2 and 4 metres. There's a few warnings: a gale warning for southeastern coastal waters, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters, and a bushwalkers weather alert for snow up to 700 metres about the western and the central plateaus. Onto the forecast: showers in the south, 14 in Hobart and Richmond, 13 at Ouse, 15 with possible showers in Launceston and Devonport, 12 for Deloraine. Showers and 14 for Burnie and Curry, 13 the top at Strawn, with 16 in St Helens, a few clouds about there, possible showers and 15 degrees for Swansea and Whitemark. Morning frost and snow to about 700 metres on Monday, lighter showers about the west and the far south, fine otherwise. Light showers in the west and the far south on Tuesday, pretty fine conditions elsewhere, with showers in the north and the west on Wednesday, but mainly fine elsewhere again. Looking at your major cities now for tomorrow: 27 degrees in Perth, 17 for Adelaide, 16 and showers in Melbourne, sunny and 19 in Sydney, 21 in Brisbane with 28 and a sunny day in Cairns. And it's 8 degrees at the moment in Hobart, 7 and clear for Launceston and Devonport. Looks like Ugg boot season is officially here, Lou.
A little birdie told me you're already wearing yours, Sam, so you might have kicked off a trend. That's all your news for this Saturday evening. Thanks for joining us. Have a lovely evening and stay warm. Good night.